We often think of hope as this kind of abstract feeling, right? Something you either have or you don't. But what if it wasn't a feeling at all, but something you could actually build? Well, today we're going to dig into a source that lays out a specific blueprint for doing exactly that in a marriage. And it all centers on this really powerful idea it calls covenant. So let's see what this is all about.
So right out of the gate, the source makes this incredibly bold claim. It's basically saying, hey, let's get one thing straight. Hope is not just sitting around wishing for the best. It's an active process. It's something you have to construct, piece by piece, like building a house from the ground up.
Okay, so that naturally leads to the big question, right? If hope isn't just a wish, then what's the foundation? What are the materials you use to build it so that it actually lasts? This is really the core problem that the source is setting out to solve.
First things first, let's really unpack the problem as the source sees it. It kicks things off by suggesting that maybe, just maybe, our whole approach to hope has been a little bit off. The argument here is fascinating. It's not that couples don't have enough love for each other. The problem is they were never handed a roadmap. And without a clear plan, hope can become, well, seasonal. It's fantastic when the sun is shining, but the second a storm rolls in, it withers, because it's tied to fleeting feelings instead of a solid foundation.
All right, so if that's the problem, what's the fix? The source points to one single powerful concept as the foundation for everything, the covenant. Let's really dig into what that actually means.
This right here is the bedrock. The source builds its entire framework on this single verse from Genesis. And what's really interesting is that its whole argument actually hinges on the specific meaning of just one word in this passage.
And that word, it's joined. Now, the source argues this implies something way deeper than just an emotional or physical connection. It defines joined as a covenant, a bond that's designed to be way more resilient than a simple feeling.
And I think this visual just nails the difference. On one side, you have covenant, which is pictured like this strong, deep-rooted tree. It's stable. It can weather storms. But then you look at convenience, and it's a roller coaster, all about those thrilling highs and scary lows, totally dependent on your emotions at the moment. This contrast is absolutely central to the source's entire point.
This right here gets to the absolute heart of the definition. In this view, a covenant marriage isn't just a promise between two people. No, it's a three-way commitment, where God is seen as the one actively holding the two of them together. Okay, so that's the what, this big idea of a covenant. But how do you actually do it? This is where we get into the how. Let's look at the source's practical blueprint for putting this whole thing into practice.
The blueprint really boils down to these three core actions. It starts with a personal commitment, a daily decision. Then it moves on to learning specific, actionable behaviors of love, not just winging it based on feelings. And finally, and this is crucial, it's about proactively protecting that unity before conflict ever gets a chance to tear it down. And this shows exactly what they mean by biblical behaviors. It's not about a feeling, it's about actions. The source points to qualities like patience, humility, endurance, and unity. These are seen as skills you can actually learn and practice, and they form the real substance of this kind of love.
So let's say a couple follows this blueprint. What's the payoff? According to the source, the result is a specific kind of outcome, a hope that is truly sustainable. The whole idea here is a massive shift from something fragile to something incredibly strong. The source argues that when couples stop guessing and start intentionally building on this design, hope gets transformed. It goes from being a house of cards, easily knocked over, into a fortress built on what the source calls truth. And they get pretty specific about what this kind of hope does for you. This isn't just some fair weather hope. It's described as a force that literally carries you through the storm, steadies the boat when things get choppy, and sustains the entire family precisely when life gets hard.
And finally, the source doesn't just leave you with a theory. It moves from the concept right into practice by offering a specific vehicle for putting this blueprint into action. The text presents this program, the Covenant Family Reboot Academy, as the specific tool designed to teach and help couples implement the covenant framework we've just been walking through.
And the text gives us a few details about the program. It's a 6-week course that's delivered through an app, and it's designed to give a really clear step-by-step guide through all the principles we've just covered.
So there you have it. That's one source's detailed blueprint for building hope, all founded on this idea of covenant. The main argument is that hope isn't something you just feel, it's something you actively build. And that leaves us with one final question, turning from the source back to you. What is your hope built on?